You're listening to All the Best from FBI Radio 94.5. I'm Gabriella Accaria. Recently, Danni Stewart, producer and artist and member of the All the Best family, launched a new podcast focused on the intersection of disability and love. This week, we share excerpts from the Crip Love podcast. But before we get into this week's stories, I want to acknowledge that I'm recording from stolen and Gadigal land, and the event featured took place on Bidjigal land in Coogee. I pay my respects to Gadigal elders past and present, and I also recognise that the area where FBI Radio is situated, Redfern, has long been a place of storytelling, strength, resistance, and resilience for First Nations communities. So, Danni, welcome to All the Best.
Thanks for having me, Gabriella. It's so nice to be here.
For those who might not know the lore of the Crip Love podcast, can you tell me a little bit about how it came to be?
Yeah, sure. So this all started more than 3 years ago now. I was doing an artist residency at Union Docks in New York, and I was thinking about the podcast landscape and what was missing. And I thought representation of disability, love, dating, and sex is something that is not represented a whole lot. And I would love to see a podcast that explores those things. So that's kind of how Crip Love started. And initially it was going to be a much more conventional, traditional kind of podcast, but along the way it transformed into something else. It kind of evolved into what I think of as more of an art project than a podcast. And that was definitely influenced by my time at Union Docs, which is a centre for documentary art. And I guess also like funding, because I decided I wanted to be able to pay participants. So the way that I did that was I framed it as an art project and applied for arts funding for it.
That's beautiful. So Crip Love is a very distinct title. Can you unpack a little bit how you came to settle on this title?
Basically, Crip is a reclaimed term in the disability community and in critical disability studies. So the reclaiming of the word Crip started around the 1970s with the disability rights movement, and people in the disability community and activists and advocates wanting to fight for better rights, fight for autonomy, and fight against harmful stereotypes about disability. I think I came up with the title of Crip Love as a way to recognize that lineage.
And in Crip Love, you have such a variation of characters that you speak to. What was the process of finding this talent, and were there any surprises in that process?
The process was doing a call out, essentially, in the disability advocacy community and also disability arts community. So kind of just going through my contacts in those spaces to try and find people who would be interested in participating, and were also interested in this premise I had of it being more collaborative than a traditional interview process that you would see in journalism. You know, more traditionally, a journalist shows up, asks questions, and then leaves. It's a bit more of like an extractive kind of process. So I guess I was looking for people who would be down to participate in more of a collaborative kind of interview process. I just knew that I wanted to try and represent as diverse of a group of people as I could, knowing that it's impossible to represent the diversity of the disability community in just 4 love stories. But I was just keeping in mind, like, I want to make sure there is some variation there. And yeah, there were particular things that I had that I was like, oh, it'd be great if I found a person like this or like this.
This first story that we're going to explore, who involves Ava and Meilin, is a very intimate exploration of their little quirky traits. Can you talk me through why you chose to explore this particular couple?
They're both artists. They met at art school. So they are both like really deep thinkers, which meant that they came up with the most thoughtful things to say, which, yeah, I feel like really drew me to them. I think that the way that Ava and Meilin have built their relationship on this foundation of Crip intimacy and caring for each other, and also through their shared cultural practices, is really beautiful. And in this clip, you're going to hear them introducing each other.
Should I start?
Yeah,
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
Hello, this is Meilin introducing my girlfriend, Ava. Ava is a beautiful fat femme with dark, long, slightly wavy hair. She uses she, they pronouns and has little Hello Kitty mermaid earrings, which she says she feels is like Crip empowerment, and she wears them when she's feeling a bit like And Ava's favorite color is red, and she has a nice red ring and a ring that says Dyke and nice blue nail polish.
Okay, so this is Meilin. He's my boyfriend. He uses he, him pronouns. Meilin is a beautiful Chinese boy, trans mask, queer, autistic, Crip, amazing. Well, you're looking at me now. You have beautiful brown eyes, and he has beautiful short brown hair. You're wearing your favorite hoodie, which is navy, and it has these like colored patches all over it. He looks very shy right now. He doesn't like being described.
So Ava and I met the first day of my degree. Ava was the queer collective officer at the time at UNSW and was making badges.
I was a year into uni and it was open week, so I was holding a stall for like prospective students and students that were starting to tell them about the queer collective and all the different collectives they could join that like the SRC ran. And so Meilin, I remember like him coming over in a group of people, and I thought, that's a queer person, just based on how he was dressed. And I thought a very cool looking person as well. We didn't really talk because like shy, like first day of uni, very intimidating. And so I was just like, okay, that's a cool person, like noted. I don't think I was crushing or anything, but it was memorable.
Yeah, we went to the same uni together for 4.5 years, I think. So yeah, like we saw each other around. I read some of Ava's writing in the school paper. I saw your photography work. Like we always had like these like very like moments of connection.
I like followed Meilin's art throughout the years, and I was like, wow, like he makes such amazing art. Like was really one of my favorite artists on campus. Like my best friend was doing an exhibition and she was like, oh, is there anyone you think at COFA should be in my exhibition? And I was like, Meilin has the most amazing work. And so to Meilin, like he just got a random DM from someone that he had like a few mutuals with to be like, hey, do you want to be in my exhibition? Had no clue like who recommended him or anything. So he ended up being in my bestie's exhibition. And so I remember that day specifically, I was at home, like, because I live with my best friend in a share house. I was at home and she was like, oh, like, Meilin's going to be here in like 5 minutes. Like, he's dropping off his work. I'm going to install it for him. And I was in my PJs. I was like lying on the sofa and I was like, no. And I didn't think I liked him or anything. Like, we didn't have many interactions. But I was like, no, oh my God. And then I forgot how to be a human. And I like posed myself on the sofa with my laptop. It was really awkward. And I was so angry. I was like, I'm in pajamas. And she was like, why are you being so weird about this? And then so Meilin came in and was like, oh, hi. And I was like, hey. Hey. And then I was like, okay, bye. And Meilin left. And then I would always see Meilin around, and I felt like we'd have these like really awkward conversations, or like we'd be in a group and I'd be like, oh my God, like I just said something embarrassing or like unsophisticated, like, but we had all these mutual friends and I knew we'd like really get along. So there were all these kind of, like ships in the night kind of thing.
But we started to get closer when we did a class called Writing as Practice. Ava studies art theory and I did a Bachelor of Fine Arts. So we're in a similar degree, and this was sort of like a crossover art theory course. And it was really fun and experimental. And yeah, we sat next to each other in class.
I was really excited we were doing Writing as Practice together so we could like have reasons to talk, I guess, because we didn't really like have conversations set up. And then I don't know what particularly like made me have the confidence, but I didn't really like share my writing with anyone before it's done. But we were like sharing our assignment drafts with each other, which I was like, oh my God, I don't show my writing to anyone, which I don't think Meilin really like knew because I didn't make like a big deal of it. But at the time I definitely was like, it was kind of an indicator to me that there was something special, the fact that I was willing to do that.
From FBI Radio, you're listening to All the Best, supported by the Art Gallery of New South Wales. I'm Gabriella Accaria. I'm here with Danni Stewart, who is the creator of the new Crip Love podcast. This second story features a couple that go by the name of Ava and Dick. So, Danni, what stood out to you about this particular couple?
When Ava reached out to me, she talked about how she has long COVID and how that has kind of impacted their relationship and how they've navigated that together. And when I was thinking about who I would like to feature in Crip Love, long COVID was definitely a condition that was back of mind that would be good to potentially represent, because it is so misunderstood and there is still so little information about long COVID and how it impacts people.
Okay, Dick. Dick is my husband. We've been married since 2018. I first liked him because he's got like a rock and roll kind of style, and I'm a 50s pinup, and I fell for his pompadour because he normally does a pompadour, and I'm all about the hair. And he's got big mutton chops, so everyone's always like, hey Elvis, because they can't think of anything else to say. So he's tall with dark brown hair, and he's got the Buddy Holly glasses and rocks a pomp in a leather jacket, and he loves to play the guitar. So yeah, that's my Dick.
So Ava is very eccentric, very interesting, extreme knowledge about pretty much everything. Yeah. And she's my beautiful wife.
We met on Tinder. Yeah, I think internet dating's a pretty standard way to meet people now. And it kind of had become a bit of a norm when we met. But yeah, I'd sworn off dating. Cis-het men especially, because of the trauma was real, and he was going to be my last date.
We didn't beat around the bush, just got straight into it and wanted to meet up straight away. And then we met at Nick of Satan,
a cool rooftop bar in Melbourne, and thought that he was really hot, really sweet and really authentic. Yeah. He wasn't trying to be somebody he's not.
Straight away, from the moment I saw her, I was like, oh my God, yeah, knockout here. I'm in trouble. She was drop dead gorgeous. She was fully dressed up as a pinup at the time. And we just got along like a house on fire.
Talked for hours and hours. I just kind of trauma dumped my whole history on him, and we talked about the things we had in common, especially not wanting children, which I think is an important thing to talk about on a first date. And that was, yeah, as soon as we saw each other, we kind of knew that it was it.
We just clicked straight away and didn't stop talking the whole moment, and everything just flowed naturally. Nothing was ever forced.
At this stage of dating, we were 32. I just kind of, I was at that point where I realized that, you've got to be 1,000,000% yourself. And I didn't want to pretend that I'm somebody I'm not, because I was sick of people expecting me to be somebody different, especially being neurodivergent, and I've always used to be this really conventionally attractive person, so I was told, and it never sat well with me. And so I kept going on these dates, and they were, projecting what they wanted on me, and then I would be this over the top ADHD, wearing my heart on my sleeve, type of person, and then they were never okay with that. But I don't want to be anything but myself, My theory is I'm just going to dump all of me on this date. And if you can't handle that, if you're going to up and leave me for who I am, then you're going to do it now at the start. So I was like, I'm going to tell you that I'm a sex worker straight away. I'm not going to pretend to be anything different. I'm going to, be all of myself unashamedly.
Yeah, she was just genuine and open heart. And she was honest. My big thing is honesty always. Yeah, and able to communicate that as well, whatever emotion she was going through. Yeah, she was able to communicate, and I knew that she wasn't going to hide anything, which is a big thing. You got to be open and honest. And I knew from that first date that she was going to be open and honest. I could trust her. She had no secrets, and just an open book.
I locked my keys out of my car, which was kind of a funny first date situation, because I was like, let's continue this on. We'll hang out for as long as we can before I take you to work. And then we had to wait for RACV to come. And then they came, and we went and had a couple more beers somewhere, and then I drove him to work.
We were day drinking before my shift at work. And I was this bar manager of this little Italian restaurant, and and she was driving me back to work,
and I was pretending to be all sweet and nice, and then I started road raging. I was like, da da da, then I just completely started swearing my head off at somebody on the road, and then I was like, oops.
From FBI Radio, you're listening to All the Best. I'm Gabriella Acaria. So, Danni, this third story that we're featuring is Aaron and Lee. What did you find interesting about their particular relationship dynamic?
Well, I knew Aaron and Lee from Aaron's work in disability arts activism kind of space, and also the two of them make podcasts together as well. And years ago, when I was running All the Best, I actually did a workshop that was with Aaron, and Lee joined the Zoom call. This was in lockdown time, so it was a workshop on Zoom. And I just remember the dynamic the two of them had in the Zoom call being so funny and endearing. In their episode, they talk about how basically Aaron handles all of the mental load for running their household, and then Lee does the physical stuff like the vacuuming and all of that kind of thing, which is difficult for Aaron to do because he's a wheelchair user. So Aaron and Lee have been together for decades now at this point. But they met when they were 20, 21-year-old uni students. And this clip that you're about to hear describes an experience that they had at a party.
There was a party that I was organising at my share house. And at the time, I was starting to become good friends with Aaron.
And I was dating someone else at the time. I had a girlfriend at the time that I lived with. And I've been polyamorous my whole adult life, so this was never a issue. So one night he was like, hey, we're having a party at the house tonight. Do you guys want to come? And we were like, oh, we can't really, because we don't really have a ride.
So I said, well, what I will do is I will put on a webcam so you can enjoy the party, teleconference in that sort of respect.
We were like, oh my God, that's so cute. Let's do it. And we made a joke about, well, if you're going to set up your webcam, I hope you're going to strip for us. Like, obviously we deserve the show. And he was like, absolutely, I promise.
Yes, I definitely promised him a striptease. I think I also like snogged a couple of people on camera for him as well. A couple of people that I also liked at the time.
And by this point, I was finally kind of at like, okay, maybe I do want to kiss this boy, maybe.
He managed to convince a friend of his to pick him and his girlfriend up and bring them down. And he got there, and I think the party went for like another couple of hours or so, at which point I very naturally invited him and his girlfriend to my bedroom, into my bed.
It was just us and him in his bedroom, and we were hopping into bed, and we were like, hey, what about that strip tease you promised us? And he was like, well, I guess I did promise it, didn't I? So he got naked and got into bed with us, and around here I started thinking, maybe he liked me? Maybe.
You think that if you give a strip tease to someone, that might indicate that you're kind of interested in them in a sexual sense. Maybe for some people, stripping is just a thing you do when you find someone interesting. Like, yeah, certainly not in my case. No, I wasn't making it platonic. I was very much interested in him as well.
We had a lovely time, the three of us, and then we went to sleep. And I was like, wow, I think he does like me. It's like, yeah, Aaron, probably. Like, I feel a need to almost be defensive now and be like, I promise I'm not that oblivious anymore. Like, I was 21. Everyone's oblivious when they're 21. And yeah, we woke up the next day. My girlfriend had to go to work, so she had to leave pretty early.
Had breakfast. I think I even did like eggs on toast or something. I take care of the people I'm sleeping with. If you're here, I might as well make you breakfast. And so yeah, we sort of chatted to each other.
And I don't know why, but this is actually one of the reasons I think we've stayed together so long. It was very natural for us to just start saying, like, hey, what does this mean? Are we dating? Like, was this just a hookup? Like, what does it mean?
And yeah, me and Aaron agreed that we would like to be partners.
Casual boyfriends, not too serious. Yeah, how'd that work out, past Aaron? In fact, I even remember at the time I said to my girlfriend, like, I don't know how long this will last. Like, I think this is probably just kind of a fling. Yeah, I said that 16 years ago.
And now you're here.
And now we're here.
So when did things change from being something more casual to something more serious?
More serious. So there were there were probably two main points, but there were a lot of little points in between them. But the two main ones was my girlfriend and I broke up, and I had been living with her. We'd been together like 3.5 years. It was a very serious relationship. It was the most devastating breakup I've ever had. And that was about 6 months into dating Lee.
He was in love with his girlfriend, I knew that he also loved me, but the sheer grief at the loss of that relationship was something to see. And as his partner, it was important that I help him through it. Among other things, he was homeless for a while.
I had to move out. And I didn't have anywhere to go. So I did crash with Lee for about a week and a bit. And then full credit to Lee. I'm so proud of him retroactively for this. He basically told me I can't be the one doing this. Like, you need to move out. You can't move in with me. I can't handle all of this grief of yours. I can't do it. And I'm really glad he did that. I think that our relationship would not have survived if he had not done that.
You're listening to All the Best on FBI Radio 94.5. I'm Gabriella Acaria. In this last story, Plum and Cherry bond over how they might not share the same interests, but they still connect over it. Can you talk a little bit more about that, Danni?
Yeah, so with Plum and Cherry, Plum talks about how they were a bit apprehensive when first talking to Cherry because Cherry was expressing how much they really, really liked this particular horror video game. And Plum was kind of like, oh, I don't know, like I don't really like horror. I don't really like that kind of thing. But then because Plum liked Cherry so much, decided to give it a go, and they ended up really bonding over it. And I think that it shows how when you really like someone, you just become interested in what they're interested in because you want to know what they're about. I think wanting to know what that other person is into is so special.
I saw that they had phasmophobia in their bio.
Phasmophobia is a video game where you are paranormal investigators and you go to locations and you try to figure out what the ghost is. It's kind of like Cluedo. Like it has this like you find the different evidence and elements to figure out like who is it basically. It's like that. It's like a who is it kind of thing. And yeah, I was really obsessed with phasmophobia at the time. Like obsessed.
At the time, I was someone that wasn't really interested in horror because it is a horror game. And I placed a judgment that I wasn't sure if I would really get along with Cherry because they liked horror intensely and they suggested we play Phasmophobia. And that's when I started to feel nervous because it was something that I felt I wouldn't be interested in. But I was open to trying because I felt like I really liked Cherry. I really was interested in Cherry and I really resonated with the ideas they shared. So I downloaded the game and we started playing.
It has an in-game talking feature. So the first time we actually verbally spoke was inside of the game.
But I had to ask my friend to join because I felt so anxious about talking to someone new.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that Plum brought somebody and I was like nervous. But then it was funny because me and Plum's friend kind of just ended up talking like the whole time at the start, and Plum was just like listening, I guess.
I mostly just observed how Cherry was towards my friend at the time, and I thought Cherry was really funny and that their personality was like really chatty and bubbly, and that is something that I liked about them. And through that I got to know them from a sense of comfortability that I felt like gave me the opportunity to feel comfortable in talking to them.
And then the friend like left, and so it was just me and Plum. And I think we ended up spending like 18 hours on a Discord call just doing a lot of different things. Yeah, we didn't sleep. Well, first we played Phasmophobia, but then we ended up just talking a lot in it. I don't even know what we were talking about. Lots of different things. And Plum was so blunt. And Plum was asking like the most like left field questions to me and like basically like interviewing me a bit. Like, oh, what's your opinion on this? And like, what do you think about this? It's very scattered. But somewhere along the way, I had my camera on and then I was just playing the Pitbull songs that I liked. And lip syncing, like I like doing Pitbull lip syncing.
They did it because I expressed how I didn't like Pitbull, because my brother used to listen to Pitbull a lot and it gave me like this weird man vibe that is like, I don't know, like player and stuff. And so Cherry started to do a performance for me, which was very funny. And although I do hate Pitbull, I think I love it through Cherry's love for Pitbull when they were growing up.
You're listening to All the Best. I'm Gabriella Acaria. The clips you heard in today's episode were produced by Danni Stewart. The music was by Brianna Jones and Paul McAdam from Library Siesta. And the series was produced with the support of Create New South Wales. Thank you so much, Danni, for being with us. Is there anything else that you would love people to know? Where can they find the Crip Love podcast?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Gabriella. So you can find the podcast at criplove.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And if you love stories, keep listening to All the Best for audio adventures from around the corner and around the country. New episodes drop Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Sydney time, and you can find scores of local stories in our archive at allthebestradio.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to learn how to make a radio story, get in touch. We're on Instagram at allthebestradio or online, allthebestradio.com. All the Best is made at FBI Radio on Gadigal land, and it features producers, stories, and voices from unceded Aboriginal lands across so-called Australia. We're made possible by the Community Broadcasting Foundation, and we're sponsored by the Art Gallery of New South Wales. Kwame Slusher is our production manager. Katerina Fraga Matos is our community and events coordinator. The All the Best executive producer is Mel Bakewell. Imogen Brosnan is our digital media trainee, and a special shout out to all of our amazing volunteers. Shining Bird composed our theme music, and Annie Hamilton designed the artwork. You can find our full archive of almost 700 episodes at allthebestradio.com. I'm Gabriella Acaria. Thanks for listening.